Hello, everyone. Today we have the opportunity to talk with Victoria Trygg, who is the Democracy Development Leader of the City of Gothenburg, and with Klara Andersson, who is the Process Leader for Children and Young People Collaboration in the Social Administration Hisingen in the City of Gothenburg. We're talking with them today because the experience Citizens Budget in Collaboration in the City of Gothenburg in Sweden has been awarded with a special mention of this 15th IOPD Award in 2021. So first of all, thanks Victoria and Klara for joining us today and sharing about your experience. To start, please, can you briefly introduce yourself, your responsibilities in the city, and how is your work, please?
Yes, I work as a development leader of democracy in Gothenburg, and to see how we can develop the democracy, different kind of methods in democracy in the city. And my responsibilities, as I was a product leader for Din Idé, Your ID.
Yes, and I work as you said, as a process leader for children and youth in collaboration. And my specific responsibility for this project, the PB, was a process leader for a way of work that we have in the city that we call School as an Arena. It's kind of a community school project. So that's my responsibility, to coordinate and process lead that.
Okay, thank you. And before going deeply to this experience, can you briefly explain also the background of participatory democracy practices in Gothenburg? How long have you been implementing some practices of participatory democracy? Which kind of practices, and with what success and difficulties you have found?
In Lundby, which is a district in Gothenburg, we had two other participatory budgeting with two different themes before this one. One was for young people, and they could come with proposal or suggestions and how to, and also vote in different activities about their activities in their spare time. And another participatory budgeting was about a park, new park in the area, in the district. The citizens got to take part in making proposals and voting on what in the new park and what the new park would look like. Both of these were only happening once, so it was no continuity. It more became like happenings. And also, even you look in Gothenburg in the big scale, we have worked a lot with a different kind of civil dialogues linked to, for example, security, safety, or to link to urban development. And some districts in Gothenburg also have citizens panel, for example. And we see that we want to make the civil dialogues more equal. And we also see that we have to seek out to citizens in their arenas much more, for example, in their residential areas.
Good. I don't know, Klara, if you want to add something on maybe on child and youth involvement in policies in Gothenburg, maybe?
Well, yeah, as in many countries, we see that it's important to start in the young age, and in this specific PB, we have been able to reach the very young children, and of course that's a good way of work to implement the democracy process in the early ages, so they can bring that up when they are older. So and that's something that we have to work with in Gothenburg as well, of course.
Yeah, definitely, it's very important, as you say, that to start with really with in the young age, not to start with like sharing values of participation, of democracy, and enrolling with education, of course. Yeah, so now maybe, it's the time, if you want to explain with more detail about this experience, Din Idé, the Citizens Budget in Collaboration, what are the objectives of these projects, the methodology, the implementation?
Yeah. So this, our PB that we call Din Idé in Swedish, it translates as Your Idea. It's a PB that runs as a partnership between both the municipality, Gothenburg, the city of Gothenburg, and a community school that I mentioned that I work with. And the community school is a way of work that we collaborate with different kind of partners and actors in the area around the school, that we use the school as an arena for an open meeting place. So we have a lot of actors already involved in that kind of work. And then we also have worked with the local housing companies in this PB. So it's a broad collaboration between the city, the school, and the housing companies. And we have worked together to reach different arenas where the children, the young people, and also the adults are active. So we can reach them both in the school, on their spare time, and in their home area. And the aim is to strengthen the safety and the community, and also the commitment around the specific area and around this specific school, Bjurslättskolan. And we have collaborated with both, like I said, the City of Gothenburg and different parts of the city, such as the social department, but also like culture school and different kind of parts of the city. And we have also then the public housing company, Familjebostäder, and a private housing company, Stena Fastigheter, and also like an umbrella housing company that are for several housing companies called Fastighetsägare Central Hisingen. So it's a broad collaboration, but everyone is kind of involved in this specific area surrounding the school then. So that's the way of that we have done this, the PB. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, Victoria, you want to add something on the project, or?
No, I think it was completed by Klara. She said it all.
Perfect, thank you. So I back to you some of the comments of the jury members that they pointed that the investment per capita is low compared to international standards, no? And the question is if in the future is it foreseen to increase the investment in this PB?
Yes, it's very low. It was also deliberate. We wanted to try to work in this way first, in this kind of collaboration, and try to see how it's working, and if it was a good way to work, and learn more about it. And we hopefully the budget will increase. That we hope for that in maybe the next year or next year that comes.
Okay, great. Thanks for your answer. Okay, and now regarding the also monitoring and evaluation of this practice, how it had worked, the monitoring and the evaluation of the process.
Yeah, we are carrying out the evaluation right now, so we're not like done with it. But we have also collaborated with the organization called Digitem Lab. So they have given us like a process support, and also been doing a lot of evaluation and interviewed both teachers and students, which we also have. So we have like a broad perspective on the evaluation as well. But we can already see that there are both the children and the people who have worked with it are very positive to the process, and they want to do it again, and they see like the long-term effects if they contribute to this process. So like, for example, one teacher says that it was easy to include the students in the PB. It's a concrete way to show that their voices are heard, and that they are that they have the opportunity to influence. So like the teachers see that this is a really like concrete way to work with the children. And one child that we interviewed says that the PB was good because we got to be involved, and we got to be involved for real. So that's also like something I think we all can like see in a lot of different kind of processes when we work with democracy, and like we ask questions, but maybe we don't we're not able to like do the things that they are asking for, and now they feel like they are like heard for real, and that's what we want. So that's a nice quote as well, we think. Yeah, but we're not completely done with the evaluation, right? So
Okay, some nice, yeah, inputs. So you already said some of these positive aspects, but maybe you want to highlight another positive or innovative aspects of this practice, and you want to highlight.
Yeah.
Yes, we reach out to children in many different arenas, for example, the school, the residential area, and the spare times activities. And also, as Klara said, that the teachers thought that it was a very good way of working with the school democracy mission in a very concrete way. And we also see that because there are so many actors that collaborate, one actor can be a bridge builder for others. If a child or a parent has confidence, for example, in the school can be a bridge builder to create trust, for example, in the municipality. And we also noticed that it was that we're like joint knowledge about the area and knowledge about the needs that existed in the area through this process, through this PB. Because when you talk to so many people and you get so many proposals, so you can see needs in the area, and we see that we also can work with it together with all this need that exists in the area.
Yeah, very interesting. Indeed, it's very important on this process of participatory budgeting, and in fact, participatory democracy in general. No, the point of the dialogue, the trust, no, the building of trust is so important in this experience, and more in some kind of community where maybe there's some problems of living together and some. Yeah, it's very, very important. I think it's one of the points that the jury most highlight of your experience in this case. Yeah. Okay, and regarding the major difficulties, challenges you have faced in all the process, the design and implementation, what have they been?
Yeah, of course, there were some difficulties, as it always is. One was actually that we we got a lot more paperwork than we had expected, because we had a digital platform, but we were overwhelmed by all the papers that they contributed with the proposals and the votes on paper much more than on the digital platform, and we were a bit surprised by that, both in school and on the other areas. So that's something that we really learned from, and we take that knowledge with us. So in the future we will bring with us like iPads or something that we can really help the citizens to participate on the digital platform. So that's something that surprised us. And also another thing was it was a bit hard to involving adults, since we were able to work with this process a lot in school, but we were also doing this during the COVID lockdown. It was not as easy to connect and have dialogue with the adults, since we were not able to have physical meeting activities and stuff. So that's something that were a bit harder. But one thing that we saw was that the children from the school brought the process and the ideas home. So they talked about it with their parents, and that was kind of something that we wanted to accomplish. But next time we will be able to work with the adults much more, of course. But another barrier is, of course, the language barrier, because in this area and in this specific school, there are about 60 different language that are spoken. So we have a language barrier, and we try to work with pictures and way of building over this barrier. But that's something that we need to be even better with, so that everyone can feel that they can participate on equal terms. And that's also when it comes to involving people with disabilities, but because they are in our whole society, but on this specific school we have classes for children with disabilities. So that's something that we really need to focus on and want to focus on. And we actually tried to do dance with sign language that explains the basic steps of the PB process. And that's something we think we can work a lot more with, like different kind of culture expressions and like art and stuff like that, to spread the word about the process, and not just like by writing and in Swedish. So that's the like main difficulties that we encountered.
Okay, thanks. Very, very interesting. When you focus all these different issues of inclusion, finally we really like to talk about this. Yeah, how we include the people, because we don't really want to, when we develop participatory practices, not to I don't know, repeat the exclusions that exist in our society. So it's very important and very interesting, this approach.
Exactly.
To focus in different, in the multi-language, disabilities. Also, the digital divide, it's really an issue, for now in times of COVID. Of course, it has been so important, all the digital stuff, and of course, not all families have exactly the same access to that. So it's very important to think in that and to act in this issue. Okay. So you already mentioned a lot of things about the future, but maybe, my next question is regarding now. What continuity do you expect from the project? You say that maybe the budget might be augmented. So do you think it can be extended to more schools, to more areas of the city? They are working also children and with adults. So what are the projects for the future of this project?
Yes, we will continue, of course, and hopefully we're going to work in another district as well. And we also want to develop this digital platform more. And we also want to produce more materials for the teachers and for the housing companies, and also includes more methods for people with language barriers or people that have a disability, to do it even more and better the next time. So there are many things that we see that we can do better the next time after we learning during this experience.
Good. I would like to know also if you have, when you designed the project, if you have been inspired by other municipalities, maybe if you had the help of the Swedish Association of Municipalities, How has been this maybe inspiration or collaboration with other actors? Could be also with the some academia research, How has been this collaboration with other actors, local governments or academia maybe?
Yes, we have been working with this organization, DDM Lab, who's been helping us a lot.
In Sweden that work with PB, and that's been a great help for us, and we can learn from each other and ask questions, and so that's been a really good help, I think, for both Victoria and me. So both DigiDem Lab and Salar then has been really good, and of course we have also been looking internationally and find examples and inspiration. I think Helsinki is one city that I think inspires a lot of us. They work with a much bigger PB, of course, but they have kind of the same platform, and they have a really inspiring PB, we think.
Yeah, it's right. The Helsinki one is very, very, very interesting. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you're regarding this practice in general, do you want to make some general conclusion or some final remark on the project, some comments you want to share with us?
I can say something and Klara can say something.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I think you have to be prepared for take a lot of time, much longer time than we expected. And I think it's very important to do it for a long time, not just one happening. You need to think that it's going to go on for several years if you're going to see some results. And also to start in a very small scale and then do it bigger, because it's a very complex process to work in, especially when you collaborate with so many different actors. And also have this broader goal that unite you about, for example, we had to make this area more equal and more safety. That was our common goal in this process with all the different organizations that we were working with. Do you want to say something more, Klara?
Yeah, no, I think that's like one. We have also been very. We talked a lot about that. This is the first time that we do it. We try together. We like kind of build a culture in the project group where we feel like this is something that we try out together. No one knows exactly the right steps, but it's okay to try and fail. And I think that's also like a good advice to give when you try this kind of broad collaboration. We have a like private housing company and a city and a school, and everyone has their own way of organization, and then like talk a lot about that we do this together because we want to build a better like world but also like the area that we work in, but to talk about the fact that we do this together, and I think that had helped the process a lot. You and me, Victoria, we talk about that's been very helpful, that we have had that kind of approach as process and project leaders to build that like culture in the project group.
And also take it as in the beginning, we were talking a lot, taking a lot of time to talk together in the project group to understand each other's culture and how we see on this project and this process. So I think the more time you spend together in the beginning, it gets much more easier further on because you know each other so well and be talking so much about how your different organizations works and so on. So to try to build a common culture together in the project group is very important for the process.
Yeah, I think it's definitely very important to in this design, no? And as you said, to create this, when you work exactly with different actors, to create this, this common culture to design the project and help to work out. Okay, so I think it's thank you very much for all your time. Thank you very much for these very interesting advices and counsels and for explaining your experience. I don't know if you want to make a final remark, a final comment, or anything else. If not, I just want to really thank you both for taking your time with us, and it's really, really appreciate this answer and this experience. And again, I really congratulate you for this special mention on this project, and yeah, to encourage you to continue with this working and to continue helping democracy and community being welling in Gothenburg.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. And also say a very big thank you to Salar. It has been we are very happy to have their help all the way through this process. It's also to the IDEM Lab with all their help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to hear because it's very important for local associations to help finally in the territory, in the local level, to help them now to better build a future. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.